All right, so just walking over to the second phase of the community. So this is the utility easement that's in between the two. This is owned by the county. So I think that's why they didn't connect the two together. But the same thing on Turtle Crossing. There's no two communities like that, but there is a utility easement there. And then on the opposite side is all the properties that face over onto the Hutchinson Road. And now we're just walking over. You can see there's another utilities that's there. Same thing on that side. There's another little one on the back side of the fence there. So we're just walking up to this one. It's pretty. Birds. Up the street from here, there's another community. It's a little older. It's called Country Place. And in Northdale's down there. My neighborhood is right up the street from here. There's quite a few communities up the road. Bellamede. Mine is Orange Blossom Creek. Country Place is older homes. Then there's Northdale. That's part of the Carrollwood area. But like I said, we're just walking over here. So there's a lot of different little subdivisions. Just depends on what you're looking for, what fits for you guys and your family. Schools are really good around here. Everything's close by. You don't really have to go far for much over here unless you're looking at venturing out and exploring more into Tampa. We really don't get out too far, with the exception of probably going to the beach or events for the kids during their sporting activities. Like this weekend we have Gasparilla, the kids parade. So that's tomorrow. My daughter will actually be participating in that one. Let's see if these actually have a little bit more room on the lot size in between. I do see a couple of them here that have some space in between. I bet you this one's a rental house. When you work in this business long enough, you can figure out what is what. It looks like they just moved in. All those boxes and stuff. Let me walk over this way. Yeah, I think over here, this must be like phase 2. Probably got a little tighter on the lots because a couple of them look like they had some space, and then they tighten up on the lots. Did things like this with that. When I see these sidewalks, if they're uneven, they should be cleaned up and kind of shaved down and make these where you don't trip. Because technically, if you trip and fall on here, you can sue the HOA. Because this is a public road. It's not a private road. So the HOA is supposed to be taking care of things like that, unless it's in the deed restrictions that says the homeowner's responsibility for maintaining the sidewalks. Because I just noticed a couple of them were super high. I like the oak trees, the way they look, but for me, I hate them for allergies because they start to pollinate, and even the palm trees too pollinate. You'll get that not white, but you'll get that yellow, fine, very yellow, fine dust that will just cake onto your cars. It's on the grass. Especially if it doesn't rain, it doesn't get washed out. So I don't think I suffered as much as from allergies until I got older. Looks like there's a wetland area there they couldn't build on. They left it alone. They didn't build any houses on there. We'll walk around that way. Oh yeah, look, there's a retention pond on that side. I forgot about that. Usually they'll have signs over there that says no fishing, or no, they don't want no boats in there. I'll show you that here in a little bit. See, this guy got a pretty good sized lot on one side, but the opposite side, nothing. Because it's taken up by the actual wetland area. You can see how it slopes down into the back, into that wetland area. It's good for the animals. I mean, in terms of, you know, having some sort of habitat. Here's a good point of view. So like, you know, the corner lot is right there, but not much of a backyard. You know, you're probably talking about maybe, I don't know, 15 feet from the back of the house to the fence, give or take. You see how all this is just for drainage, really, for water. Sometimes you'll get lucky, like in our neighborhood, we had some otters that were back in the lakes. I've seen a couple of them before in Lando Lakes, some otters, but you actually can't mess with them. You can't feed them or touch them because they're actually protected. And you can see that one has a roof leak. It's like they did partial of a roof because there's different colors on it. And so usually once the roofs are going, even though they tell you it's a 15 or 20 or whatever year lifespan on a roof, that's not true. Here in Florida, you get pretty extreme conditions because it's so hot, and it actually makes the roof not last as long as it should. I think there's some ducks right there. I don't know what that is. We get some hawks out here from time to time. There's one I can hear. I don't know if you see him. He's right up in that tree right there. And then I think this might be some ducks that are right here. I was trying to see if I see any fishes in that water. Yeah, that's some little ducks there. And then there's some, I think there's a fish in there. I just saw the water move. There's a duck over there, and that there's actually there's a bunch of them over there, a little family. But you can see it says private property, no trespassing, no fishing. So you can't be in there just fishing, and you know, I definitely wouldn't eat anything anyways, because I'm sure there's a lot of water runoff that comes off from the highway that's right back there. Yeah, he really trimmed that oak tree down. Looks hideous. But anyhow, yeah, you see those with the roofs. That's why they got this on there, storm damage. It's probably in litigation. I see parts of the roof are missing off that one. But yeah, the roofs won't last what they say on paper. Maybe the newer materials, they might. A little hard to say. I'm in the process of trying to get my roof replaced on my house. We've had quite a few of them get replaced in the neighborhood as well. It's because all these houses were all built pretty much in the same periods. Very quiet back here. It's nice to get out every now and then and go for a walk, get that fresh air. I'll do some other videos as well. You'll see there's a trail in the Citrus Park area. There's a few parks. I'll go to those as well. I'll show you the Citrus Park mall area, and then even across the street there's another area of stores. I think they're in a transition. I know it's recently sold, was the Citrus Park Mall was sold. I believe it was sold last year. So I think they might be going through some transition as far as like what type of stores they're gonna have in there. I know they're in the process of trying to work on getting a building an arcade back in there. It's taking a little bit longer than expected. But that will definitely, if they do open up, that'll be a place where I'll be hanging out with my kids over there. Because the nearest one that we have is up in the Land O'Lakes area off of 75 by the outlet mall. And then there's Dave & Buster's, which is going towards Brandon, which is super far away. But it's pretty awesome to go over there. The other one that is closer by, it's Town and Country off of Waters Avenue. There's a small little arcade over there. They have an indoor laser gun. It's called Laser Ops. That's in literally, if you take the expressway, you can get down there in probably like maybe 10 minutes. You can see these are big houses. You won't see very many of those in this community. It's mostly all the smaller single story houses. Probably 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom max. I know in Turtle Crossing, I don't know if there's any in here, but in Turtle Crossing, I know there is a couple of them in there. They're actually 2 bedrooms, which is very surprising. I love the when they have the driveways like that, how they wrap around. I wish I could get that on mine, but I don't think the HOA will allow it. You can see the Veterans Expressway is right here, like I said. So there's a little pocket of houses that face the interstate, which probably isn't as desirable because I can hear the traffic. All the big trucks and stuff like that. I love this house though. Wish that porch was a little bit bigger. 3-car garage, I have that in mind. Better walk around this way. They got a little view of the water back there. There's a little from the lake. So there's probably some drawbacks, you know. Have the big house, nice driveway, nice curb appeal. You got the water view, but you got a front view of the big wall there of the highway, or not the highway, but the Veterans Expressway is right there. So, you know, that can impact, you know, on the future sale of the home. People are looking at that, trying to make a decision, you know, why would we want to buy that house where we could probably get something very similar to the size, you know, maybe with something other views. Yeah, it might cost a little bit more, but we're not facing the, you know, the highway there. And the other thing too is that, you know, I highly doubt it would happen, but if they decided to expand the road and widen it out, you know, you're going to have a tough job trying to fight against the Department of Transportation and a eminent domain claim if they go and take up more space, more of your yard. I know we had that happen in parts of Turtle Crossing, and then the same thing, there was parts of Country Place, because the Veterans Expressway cuts right through there, and then even in my neighborhood as well, it cuts through the neighborhood. But they built these large walls. This house looks abandoned too. You can see the yard. I just noticed that. But you can see where they put these huge walls that are probably like maybe 20-foot tall walls to try and help to minimize some of the noise from the expressway. But in doing so, you know, they gotta have so many feet off of the interstate to put them at. and to build them up, because they can't just slap them up on top of each other, because that's going to defeat the purpose of the reason for having the walls there in the first place. You know, they're kind of dampen the noise. But yeah, that's the community. So there's two good subdivisions in here, Turtle Crossing, and you got Bella Vista. That's right down the street. There's plenty of area over here to go walk in, run in, riding a bike. You know, great neighborhood, like I said, schools, close to everything. We really don't need, you know, like I said, for our personal choice, we really don't go far, because there's really not much of a need to go too far away from the area. But again, I'll do some more videos and share that with you guys, and that way you get an idea of you know, the whole area. All right, heading back to my in-laws' house. Bye.